Hello and welcome back. Today we are with Michele Hayden.
Hello.
Yes, you have seen her lovely face at our Vitality conversation, as well as our Walk, Run, Connect on Wednesday evenings following our WaterStone Arts Ministry. Now we're getting ready for our first Vitality conversation for 2024.
We're there already.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe it?
No.
I'm like, it is already here. But as a church, and especially for our Encourage Radio and for Front Sight, we are talking about living better. And we have done a lot of things to say, okay, how are we going to do life better? Even though it may feel a little out of control. We've had a lot of different talks about attitude. We've had a lot of talks about different things. But for our Vitality conversation, that is going to be happening the first weekend of January.
Yes, it's coming up quick.
Yes, at 4 o'clock, we're going to be talking about boundaries. So first tell us, what are boundaries?
Okay, so as a parent, you have to set proper, healthy boundaries. And sometimes those conversations are difficult.
Yeah.
They're hard to have. So you have to have a plan in place so that you're prepared to have those conversations with your children.
Yeah, and that's a plan in place, so you have to kind of think ahead. So as a guidance counselor, you've been doing this for a long time, and of course with both high school students and as an adjunct professor, for college, you see a little bit of everything about making a plan, or let's go back to you can see what parents had a plan and what parents didn't have a plan.
Yes.
So if you were talking to a parent about healthy boundaries and whether it be discipline things, maybe a student's losing their brains a little bit, maybe home life's a little flavorful, what would be that first conversation of healthy boundaries that you may tell that maybe incoming freshman that's coming in, or maybe even a younger student here, at WaterStone? What would you say?
So the common theme within, let's say entering high school students is, what is acceptable and who do I want to surround myself with?
Yeah.
So as a parent, you really have to teach your child what is okay and what's not.
Right.
And to draw that line in the sand of who to allow in your circle. And it's okay to have those conversations and say, if this person is not building me up as a child, then you don't need them a part of your circle.
Right.
Not everyone has to be included. The
Right.
fear of missing out, fear of being included, it's a real
Yes.
thing. And just kind of teaching to that and teaching that it's okay to not have everyone around you. Because you know how they say, you are who you surround yourself with.
Yes.
We have to teach our children to surround ourselves with the appropriate people that are going to lift them up and build them up.
And it's so hard because sometimes our kids have gone through a lot of hurt or maybe bullying or whatever, and they tend to want to please those that have been angry with them or hurt by them, instead of just going ahead and focusing on what's healthy for them. I mean, that's a hard mindset and navigational waters that we do have to adjust to, as a parent. So what would you say to that parent that is trying to set boundaries for the first time? Like, what are maybe some action steps? And I know you're going to be giving us some really great action steps at our Vitality conversation, but give us just a broad overview of what you would say.
So I like to think of a classroom environment. If you're the teacher to your child. Okay, let's set norms. Let's set what is acceptable in my world and what's not. And you draw your little chart. I want this child or this friend to call me, check in on me, and just ask how my day is.
Right.
Okay, that's acceptable, right?
Right.
But we're going to draw that line. And if someone is texting mean comments or putting on social media not very kind pictures of you, that's not showing that they're your friend, right?
That is right.
So you're going to make sure you're separating yourself from those types of students or types of kids, because that's not going to build into a healthy relationship.
Yes, and that goes in with, that'll go with you through your high school years, your college years, and even later on in marriage, possibly.
Right.
If we don't teach them, we're teaching them how to grow up into healthy adults.
Yep.
And as we've talked before, it's all about character, and developing that character so they feel good in their own skin in order to grow forward no matter what they're doing.
And sometimes some families can get really rigid. Ooh, that line is very strict and you can't waver. Sometimes there's scenarios, there's situations where you have to practice forgiveness, and then maybe that friend did mess up, but now we're going to practice and teach to forgiveness because maybe it won't happen again if you're able to, really teach that other child the same type of lesson.
Well, in boundaries, I think we're going to be talking about at the Vitality Conversation several different types of boundaries. And it's boundaries from friendship boundaries. It's boundaries of how to do proper self-care. It is boundaries as a parent of how do I establish, just a healthy home life, and what is healthy boundaries as we move through the years. School, what are healthy boundaries on how we plan our educational day? What are some other boundaries?
Sometimes there's too much, right? Like sometimes the plan you put in place is just overboard. So really determine what plan is going to work for your child. One example that I have seen a lot with families is single parents. Mom oversharing with the children because they're just there for her, right? There has to still be a line between parent and child.
Wow.
It's not friend to friend. Even though you want to have a genuinely kind, fun, loving relationship, there still has to be a boundary. There still has to be a line that there's things that you just don't share with your own children. You may share with your best friend, but you don't share with your children. So, and it's okay, but sometimes you forget that. And that's where that line, it might have been drawn in the sand, and now the sand is covering it up. We have to really draw that line again.
I love that we're going to be talking about that. I know on Encourage Radio we talked about that with, headlines, things that are going on. That doesn't necessarily all need to be shared with your child because they cannot process everything that they are receiving. And so there is a proper season for everything that is shared. Well, I'm excited that you're going to be sharing that, and I want to encourage you to come and join us. I think it's January 7th?
Yep, Sunday at 4 o'clock.
At 4 o'clock here at our WaterStone campus. And of course, Counselor Michele will be there.
Please join us.
Off our year. Click on this, share it. Go to our events tab, register. Of course, we do offer childcare with registration during that hour, and we would love to see you. Again, thank you for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.